This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I wanted to just do this video after I heard about this because this is more of what they want in the mainstream media. These stories they want out there because they want to make Christians look like hypocrites. There are fake evangelist teachers out there, the number one being Joel Osteen. If you can't see that Joel Osteen is a fake teacher and not someone who follows the teachings of Jesus Christ, then you truly are either extremely lukewarm in your walk or just extremely slow and unaware and not able to decipher or use discernment on anyone. Joel Osteen, the same man who says there's multiple paths to heaven, when in fact there are not multiple paths. There's one path and only one path to heaven, and that is through salvation in Jesus Christ alone. Belief in Jesus Christ, faith in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the only way to our Father. That's it. Osteen has openly said that there's multiple paths. That should be enough for any Christian to put an X over him and say, okay, this guy doesn't know how to interpret the Bible because it specifically says this in Scripture. John chapter 14, verse 6, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That is through Jesus Christ. So, of course, this story comes out with all the poor people who are victimized and I shouldn't say victimized, but who are suffering, unless you're somebody who believes that this was weaponized weather, that HARP was behind this, which, can only be speculated on at this point. But there are many people who are going through a very difficult time in Texas, and all of our prayers should be with these people who have had their homes ruined, who have lost animals, lost lives, people, so much just awfulness going on. So our prayers should be with these people. But this is the type of story that the mainstream media eats up. As it's gone, the story has gone completely viral, where Joel Osteen is asking people for prayers for these victims, but refusing to open the doors to his mega church, which seats close to 17,000 people, as people in the state of Texas are trying to find places of shelter. And this man, obviously, who believes in prosperity, who is a bought and paid for televangelist, who the CIA operates with, he works hand in hand with Oprah, he pushes New Age Christianity. This is the stuff they want out there, right? A story about people in need, this guy with this mega church, and he won't open the doors to help shelter these poor people, even though biblically we're told to do these things, to help people in need, to give to those who ask. So Huffington Post and all these big outlets go out there and they talk about it, right? It goes viral. It's now trending on Twitter. It's trending all over. Joel Osteen's Houston megachurch blasted for closing as thousands are displaced. The 16,800 seat church announced that it was not opening its doors to help people. They're claiming that they were flooding as well, possibly. I'll read you the article. Hurricane Harvey has dumped over 30 inches of rain throughout parts of southeast Texas since it made landfall on Friday. Thousands of people are still awaiting rescue as of Monday morning. Dozens of Houston area churches, schools, and community centers opened their doors to offer temporary shelter to survivors, while other local houses of worship organized volunteer teams to help with relief efforts. So those stories wouldn't be out there, that other Christian churches open their doors to help these people. This one has to be out there because Osteen is one of them, for starters. And they want this out there to make us all look like hypocrites and bad people, because that's the goal, right? This is an attack on Christianity. One church, however, drew criticism online for remaining shut. Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church of 16,800 seat indoor arena announced on Facebook that it was not able to open due to severe flooding. The post included a long list of resources for those impacted by the storm, including the street addresses for 9 temporary shelters in Houston and surrounding counties. Osteen also posted prayers on social media over the weekend for those affected by the disaster. Osteen and his wife live in a $10.5 million mansion in upscale River Oaks neighborhood in central Houston. The neighborhood was hit with intense flooding over the weekend, with rescue teams coming to evacuate residents and their dogs. The preacher did not say whether his home was impacted. I doubt his home was impacted. But the church's response to Harvey drew harsh criticism on social media, with hundreds of users saying Osteen owes the city more than his prayers. So that's something that they're doing as well. So people are saying, this is all Joel Osteen will offer is his stupid prayers that do nothing, and he won't even open his doors to help people who need help. And that's why instead of talking about how these people really need help in a situation like this, because they do, this is why the Huffington Post, CNN, and all these outlets are coming out with articles right now saying, look at these Christians, how they're not helping, how they're hypocrites, and using Joel Osteen as the face for that, because they try to link all of us to these televangelist scumbags like Joel Osteen when we're not linked to them, because these people are working with the government. They're a part of the evangelical movement. They are teaching New Age Christianity. And they're not even mentioning the fact that he's claiming the church is flooded so nobody can go in there anyway, whether that's true or not. You see how the mainstream runs with this because they want to make us look bad? It's a smear campaign against Christians. And of course, the article shows tweets from people. Joel Osteen has a huge church in Houston that would make a great shelter. Others say Jesus would open his church to the suffering to give them shelter from the storm. Read Matthew 5-7 till it makes sense to you. Tweeting at Joel Osteen. Open your church as a shelter. Provide food and clothing, please. So everybody's tweeting at him. And these news outlets are picking it up. Why isn't Joel Osteen's megachurch in Houston not open to the public who are in need of shelter, food, and protection? And people are angry and irate, right? At Christians, not just this specific individual, because we know how the mind control works, and this is supposed to deflect off of him onto us, and it's supposed to be, an example that is all of us. We're all linked to this, right? That's what they're trying to say. That Joel Osteen, who is the face for the mega church, so anyone who's a Christian has to be a fan or a follower of Joel Osteen, even though those of us who are awake know exactly what a fraud this guy is. And like I said earlier, all you need to do is listen to him say that there's multiple paths to heaven to realize that this guy is clearly deceiving people on purpose. Clearly. He's clearly telling Christians that, or telling anyone, that they don't just have to have faith in Jesus to get to heaven. They can get to heaven in many ways. And this is the New Age philosophy. This is why whenever somebody dies, you hear everybody, even if they're atheists, they go, I know he's in heaven looking down. Huh? Right? You hear people on the news, oh, he's in heaven now. He's in a better place now. Person after person. You're like, wait a minute. I didn't know he was Christian. Oh, he wasn't. So how is he in heaven? Because, that's heaven goes with God and Jesus Christ. And the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ. Oh, no, everybody apparently gets in heaven. This is part of the deception that they've created, where they want everybody to think that, hey, just do some good things in your life and you're going to get to heaven. Don't worry about this other stuff. I have videos on it. There's some of the first videos I did, part of this New Age deception with heaven and just being a good person, trying to love all, block the hate, all this nonsense that we hear is part of this deception. Osteen is one of the guys who preaches this and preaches prosperity, right? Prosperity teaching, chasing your dreams, achieving your dreams, all of this stuff that is not biblical. He should already automatically be disqualified as a teacher. But this is on purpose. This is deliberately done. The media loves this. They're showing tweet after tweet after tweet. Joel Osteen, please seek the welfare of the city that you are in. Support those that have supported you. Why don't you do something besides pray for the flood victims? You have tremendous resources, right? And this is supposed to be a reflection on all of us who are Christians, who are followers of Jesus Christ. And it's a complete joke. And that's why the mainstream media runs with stories like this and a tragedy like this where all the attention should be on not pointing fingers, saying what could each person do to help. Okay, and we're not talking about donating to Red Cross because that's all part of the scam. These charities are all set up. They're all part of the scam. It's what can you physically do? Can you do something? Is there anything you could do? Guess what? Prayers is, it's just as important as doing something physically. These people need prayers. But they laugh at us. They make it, Osteen says, I'm going to pray. So people are going, that's a joke. They're laughing at us, making us look like idiots. And then the fact that he has these resources and doesn't use it to help anybody makes us all look like hypocrites because they link all of us to him. And the media runs with stories like this. They put them on blast so people can get angry because people are upset about what's going on in this world at this time. And people are upset about the poor victims of this hurricane. And they're putting this on blast so people could go, with all this going on, these stupid Christians like this guy who's got millions of dollars and a church that seats 17,000 people and he won't let anyone in. Oh, we're so sick and tired of these Christians. Oh, we're so sick and tired of hearing them. Oh, they're all hypocrites. Oh, they're all liars. This is the image they want to create, because as this Antichrist movement comes in, we are the enemy to them. Because they're going to preach, look, everyone's getting along, everybody's tolerance is key, everybody's loving one another, letting everyone do without wilt, which is all satanic, except for these Christians. What bad people, what hypocrites. They don't follow God's teachings. Even their book that they're supposed to read says that they're supposed to love one another, right? And they take it out of context, they twist it, and people are going to say, get rid of them. Lock them up, put them in the FEMA camps. Because remember, we're the enemy to this system. Christians are the enemy to the New World Order system. This goes back to the Tower of Babel. This is them recreating it now. And this is God versus the devil, God versus Satan. That's what this is. So this is just Joel Osteen. This is more of the same crap we always see. Them trying to make us look like fools, look like hypocrites, and look like liars, linking us up with these false, government-paid agents like Joel Osteen, who is not a man of God. It's pathetic. It really is. This is the kind of stuff that gets really under my skin, because they deliberately make stories like this go viral. They make it go viral on Twitter, viral on YouTube, viral in the new mainstream media, all for a reason, to plant seeds in people's heads about us and who we are. And this is not who we are, and this is not a reflection of true Christians. Joel Osteen does not represent any of us who are truly awake and truly followers of Jesus Christ. Know who reflects who we are? Jesus Christ and his teachings and how he lived. And we all strive to be perfect as he was. None of us give a rat's behind about Joel Osteen and his lies and this pathetic attempt to try to steer Christians into his New Age movement, this CIA-created New Age movement. It's nothing but a deception. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.